Okay, I guess I'm visible. Hi, my name is Priyal Himanshu Kapadia. My student ID is S22474165. And in this video, I'm gonna explain my task 1.1p of SIT 232 object oriented development. Yes, and this task talks about selection and casting. And in this video, particularly, what I'm gonna do is explain. I'm gonna run the code into the debug mode so that I can understand and explain the code as well. But the main thing over here is to run the code in debug mode and explain all the other terms. And after that, I'm also going to do is explain all the other codes which I have done. For example, if statement, switch statement, microwave thing, and the do casting as well. Which I have already uploaded on track. So let's get started with this thing. I hope my screen is visible. Just give me a second. Yep. So as my screen is visible, as you know that there is this task in which we are supposed to do casting, and which includes firstly declaring and initializing the integer values of sum and count as 17 and 5. I have already done that. And also then we are supposed to do is calculate the integer average. Then we are supposed to do is calculate the double average without casting, which does not give us the double value. And then later on, what we are supposed to do is calculate the double average with casting so that it does give us a double value. So here in this code, what I have done is added three breakpoints which are on the calculations, which are on the parts where the calculation is done. As you can see, the red points over here, these are my breakpoints. And now we are going to run this code in debug mode by clicking on this thing, run and debug. And now the project is getting loaded. As you can see, it now shows us on the terminal. It shows us that the project was restored in 32 point. Just give me a moment, okay. 327 ms milliseconds. The project was reloaded, restored, and the terminal will be used. As you can see, just give me a moment now. Yeah, the debug console mode is open. um, Okay, so let's get to the variables. So, as you can see, the local variables are sum, count, integer, average, integer, double average, correct average, and when we hover around the variables, we can see that what their current value is right now. So, if I hover around on sum, it is 17. If I hover around on count, it is 5, and when I hover around on integer average, it is 0. Right now, over here, it is also 0. Correct average is also 0. But um once I, it is paused on breakpoint because I have added a breakpoint. Now let's continue. So when I continue it, and now when I see, then the integer average is changed to 3. Okay. Uh, the integer average is changed to 3, as you can see over here. And then what I'll do is, now the running is happening in on the second breakpoint, which is double average calculation. And when I continue it, the double average value is also changed to 3. As we know, it will give us 3 because it is done without casting. Because the sum and the count are initially defined as integers, so no matter if we change the type of the double average variable, it is always going to give us answer in integer because two integers are divided. So as you can see, now it is stopped on the breakpoint third, which is double correct average. And in this, we are going to do is casting. We are going to cast the sum value, which is integer, to double manually by writing double in brackets and then before sum and then divided by count. And now when I continue it, the value of correct average double over here will change. So let's do it. Uh, as you can see, it is 3.4 now. So this is what my code was about casting. Now what I'll do is I'll explain all the other codes as well. Uh, I'm not sure if it is asked in the task, but uh, but for just for the safer side, I'll explain all those codes as well. Just give me a moment. I need to open the file. Yeah. So now I'm sharing my screen. Um, the first task was to get the input from the user, and using if statement, it should return the uh, if I get one, if I take one integer as input, then it should return one. So that was the task. I'm going to explain it. The first thing what I did was just write the line that entered the number, and then what I did was took the value. So here the question might arise is, why did I put string question mark? Because at times when people enter, when the user might enter just enter, press enter, or maybe a null value is entered, then it might create an error, which I did not want in my case. So what I did was accept it, accept the null value, and then what I did was try parse it. Like I how do I explain that? I use try parse to check if the input which is entered is an integer or not. If it is an integer, it would go through the if statement, if and else if statement, and if it is not an integer, then it would go to the error message, and it would print that the value entered is not an integer, so enter a correct value. And that is how the code is done. The first thing done over here is that if the number is the input, so if number is equals to 1, then write line one. Similarly, else if for till 9, and then anything else in integer, it is said that error number must be between 1 to 9. If it is an integer, like for example, if I enter 10, then it would print the error, this one message. But if I enter a b c d, something like that, then it would enter error, invalid input, please enter a number. So I'll just run it quickly. Okay. So if I enter 4, then it would give us 4. If I run this again and I enter a, this would give us error. It must be an integer or a number, as I said. Now, if I run again and enter -5, okay, -4, let's say, then it shows us the error that the number must be between 1 to 9. This was my code for the first one. The second, okay, fine. Okay, give me a moment. So this one is the switch statement. It is the same thing, just done with switch case. Switch case, like I have taken the number input and then switch number. It compares the number with the cases A, B, C, D, and in the case 1. So if the number is 1, it gives ONE1. If the number is 2, it gives TWO2. Let's run this program. And the error over here, the problem over here is that the number might be a null thing, which I did in the previous task, that how, I took the input with question mark so that it can enter none, and then I checked it that if it was an integer or not. That is the issue over here. If you can see this, the problem over here is, it is not an error. It is just a problem that uh, it might the user might enter a null value, but we know how to go through that. And .NET Run. So I'll quickly go through this one. And if I enter 1, it shows 1. If I enter mm, if I enter give me a second, 0, it should show that number out of range. Please enter the number between 1 to 9. And if I enter A, B, C, D, E, F, G, X, Y, Z thing, then it would show please enter valid number. Okay, this was my switch statements thing, and now let's do with the microwave, the fifth task of the assignment, and it was about take the input of the number of item the user wants to heat, and then if the item is 2 we double the value, and if the items are 3 then we increase it by some number, and and we also write a message that it is not advisable to heat more than 3 items. Let me just go through the code quickly. The first thing which I did was console write the number, and then I took the input. The input was taken under the variable name item input, and then there was a string variable called time input, which also took the input of how much time the user wants to heat it for, and then there was two other variables called item count and heating time. The item count takes the number of item input number of items the user wants to heat, and the heating time is as per the number items the user wants to heat. And in the first case, and then we have used the switch statement over here, which takes the input of item count, as in if the item is 1 then the heating time should be this, if the item is 2 then the heating time should be multiplied by 1.5, if the item is 3 then the heating time should be multiplied by 2, like double the value. And also it also shows the user that it is not advisable to uh, like it is, and after when the number of items inputted is 4, then it shows the error that no, it is not advisable to heat more than 3 items. Let's just run through this one. Mm-mm. Net build. Give me a moment. Okay, fine. .NET run. Let's one number of items, let's say 2, and the heating time for one item in seconds is like 30 seconds, then for 2 it should be 45 seconds. Now let's do it with 3 items with same time. Okay, the 30 seconds it was, then it should be 60, obviously. And then if I enter 4, then it would print the error heating more than 3 items, it's not recommended. 4. Heating time for 1 is 30 seconds, but it would print an error that heating more than 3 items is not. This was my task. Thank you so much.